and anything that comes to mind. Especially, I just saw your recorded show that's 1 hour before this one, and I was like, wow, what a guy. Rob- Robison,
Baron Robison.
Baron, how could I
Yep.
forget
Yep.
Baron?
Yep.
But Robison, and wow, to find out, I didn't know this. I mean, if Scott knew, well, obviously Scott knew because it was pre recorded. So you can start anywhere talking about yourself, but I definitely posted that one out as well because there's something coming up in February, which is fantastic.
Yeah, they're such a blessing. Well, my name is Russ
Yeah.
Hedge, and I am an inspiration specialist, inspirational speaker, marketing coach, and I love to do live streaming, do a lot of it, and do a lot of it with Scott, Christine's husband, and been friends, amazing friends for years. And so, yes, it is true that we graduated from Oregon State, the same ceremony, had no idea who each other were because it was such a big Oregon State University, a big college. Didn't know each other, but became great friends later in life through business. So I just love people. I'm all about inspiring and encouraging people. My wire purpose is to inspire and encourage all of you to live a purpose-driven life of significance. I'm all about significance, not success, because I think
Mhm.
significance is really where it's at, making a difference in people's lives. And when this all comes back to what I'm currently going through and what I've been through, I'm really focusing in on my inspirational speaking to groups about cancer, about Alzheimer's and dementia, because that's been a lot of my life in the last, 7 years. Went through cancer and dementia with my dad, passed away. My mama had Alzheimer's for um, several years. I think altogether, probably 6 years, maybe seven
Mhm.
total from diagnosis. And she was the happiest person alive. We have hashtag happy moments with mama videos to this day that inspire people that I use because she was so happy. And we used to do lapping and laughing and talking and singing and just having a great time. And we'd record it and she loved it. It was so much fun. Um,
Yeah.
then actually right after mama passed away on my dad's birthday in July, that same month, I was diagnosed with metastatic melanoma that traveled from my foot to my groin. After a couple years of that, or about a year and a half, they thought they got it all, two surgeries and two treatment cycles later. And then about a little bit less than a year later, on my just checkup, went in for my PET scan. They found something they didn't like. They did a biopsy, found more cancer in my groin, but they also found that it had moved to my lungs and my brain. So they're doing immunotherapy again and radiation and going in for those treatments every 4 weeks. But at this point, waiting for my results here on December 5th. My beautiful wife's and my anniversary, expecting good news, but we'll find out where things are at. So that is me in a nutshell. And I can talk more about February later.
You have been allowing thousands of people to take each of these steps with you. We've even seen the mask that they made of your face to,
For the radiation. Yeah,
it must be to help them aim.
I think so. Is to trap my face into one spot. I think kind of looked like
Oh,
a
okay.
Jason mask. Kind of looked like a Jason mask. It was kind of the radiation thing is kind of a surreal process, but it's not painful. But it's just very weird and it's strange talking to my. I have three teams of oncologists, and my radiation oncology team showed me the tumor in my brain and what it looked like and what they were going to do, and very strange process. But yeah, I'm praying that it all. I one thing I did not mention is that I serve a big God and I am trusting God every step of the way through this process and believing and keeping a good perspective on where things are going. I'm living my life. I'm not sitting around um, ready to die. I do sleep a lot in the afternoons because it does very wear on my body. And I can only keep up this kind of energy in the morning first thing. But but no, I'm just, expecting good things and just trying to take care of myself.
Are you flying solo from Salem to Portland? It's just an hour drive, but are you doing solo or do you have a wingman, wingwoman this time?
Today I am traveling solo because it's just a meeting. They're not doing anything to me. We're just talking.
Mm.
Anytime I have treatment, I always have somebody take me just to make sure all is good, that I have a ride home. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but lots of traveling to Portland, which is, just short of an hour both ways. So each way. And so get to go up there to OHSU quite a bit. But yeah, no, I mean, I have amazing doctors that take care of me. I'm very blessed.
I honestly, you probably make a difference in their lives because they see you coming and they're like, "Oh, there's that guy. I wonder what he's going to tell us about today." And I'm grateful that you let us know when to pray, what to pray about, and and give us a chance to try to send you love with emojis, and and you're used to developing relationships
Yeah.
through
Well,
screens, through alphabet letters with spaces in
right.
between and little pictures, and you're like reaching out to hug a person that you've never been in the same airspace before because, oh, there's the one who always sends me stars. And it's I guess I just understand my husband a lot better now because I've entered into your world.
Well,
So,
I want to
yeah,
tell you real quickly that
yeah.
today, what a blessing, first of all. Sarah, Dara, and Ann, it's so great to meet you. First time. I love meeting new people. So I would love to connect with all of you individually. I'm just that kind of guy. But be ready because I'm a lifetime connector. So once you talk with me, you're stuck with me as your friend. So, um, but that's the reason I really felt God directed me to go online and tell people what was happening because it gives me an opportunity to encourage and inspire people that I never would have reached. Thousands of people around the world I have been able to touch and to be able to encourage and inspire. And that is what I'm all about. So that is a true blessing. And I'm just so thankful to be able to do that, Christine.
Woo. You know what, Sarah? Um, just a few moments ago, he was talking about, laughter and fun and reaching out and, and saying, meanwhile, I'm going to go. I mean, he has traveled. Russ, you are open to being a speaker and you have traveled to New York
Mhm.
to talk with people on perspectives on cancer.
Right.
That's, I guess I would say, run by Tim. It's Sohn, but
Yes.
it's Sohn. So
Yep.
Tim Sohn, who's all about saying, "Come on in, whatever it is about cancer, even if it's been gone for 4 years, and you're like, I still have a cloud over me." It's like, come on in. We understand. So, Sarah, you have the word laughter really prominently in the beginning of your profile. And I'm like, I remember going to an aging summit because I was becoming so interested, not just how do I care for my clients, but what is this aging thing all about? I felt so privileged to be around people who were 96 and were teaching me about continuously living life. And I went to an aging summit and they said, and now we're going to have our next guest speak and make sure that you feel really comfortable and you've loosened your belts and everything because we are going to participate in laughter therapy. And I'm like, what? So I don't know if that relates to you, but the word laughter is part of your profile. And
Yeah.
that doesn't happen everywhere. People say inspiring and I'm the whatever resume whisperer and all this, but laughter, leadership and leading laughing. So Sarah, please, and you know how Americans are. We're like, just say words. We just want to listen to how you talk. Just tell us anything. Read the phone book.
Oh, lovely. Well, lovely introduction. Well, I mean, yeah, laughter is something I'm really interested in, and but I'm by far not a master. I've connected with lots of masters, and in fact, Dr. Madan Kataria, who was the founder of Laughter Yoga, has just become our patron for our charity, the Healing Hub. So we were seriously honoured with that. Yeah, amazing. And there are some really serious master laughter leaders and teachers out there, and I'm just on beginning my journey, but I'm talking about it a lot. and we use it a lot in what we do. So yeah, it just sort of helps connect people. If you're having a difficult time, you know, it's a useful tool that you can do in the shower. No one has to see you. So the great thing about laughter is that, you know, your body doesn't know the difference between, you know, spontaneous laughter or simulated laughter. You still produce the same, you know, feel good hormones, and it's great for, you know, well, you know how you feel when you've had a really good laugh. Well, if you make yourself laugh, even in the tough times, honestly, you feel a lot better. We're doing a laughter awareness campaign for a year at the moment, and I'm only on day 82, so I've got a long way to go. So every day I'm posting on LinkedIn about something to do with laughter, and now it's really interesting because wherever I go, people talk to me about laughing, and my background is as a nurse, so you know, and our businesses and charity are related with healthcare and mental health. So we came to laughter as one of our, you know, a modality for enabling people to stay positive and through challenges in life, because, you know, as we've just heard, there are many challenges. And I just love the fact, Russ, that you talked about your mum and recording laughter, and that's just so special. And, you know, so it's really that. And within our charity, we provide meeting places for people, so in the community. So it kind of bridges that gap between when people are, you know, fully active and have a big social life, and people before they get to a point where they need, you know, healthcare. So it's kind of there's a forgotten gap there. We have felt, certainly in the UK, and reading some of the work that you guys have been doing on caregiving, it seems as though that might be similar over in the US. So we provide meeting places in community buildings and warm hubs for people who are financially challenged, befriending calls, and laughter. So that's kind of what we do. We have a home care business as well. So for those people who are requiring care in a certain area. Yeah, and the other side is that we provide wellbeing supervision outsourcing for healthcare workers. So for people who are actually providing the care, because obviously they need to be happy and well in order to make a difference. So that's where laughter fits into our thing. But for myself, I came to laughter after, you know, some difficult personal challenges. My mum died, and so on. So it was lockdown, and, you know, everybody was going through stuff, and having had mental health kind of challenges in my life, I thought, right, I need to find something that's going to keep me on the straight and narrow. And I came across laughter yoga in lockdown, and I'd gone back to working in the NHS to support the front line with COVID at that time. And so I thought, I really need something to help me through this. And that's how I came across laughter yoga, and haven't really looked back. It's been great. So I would definitely recommend it.
Oh my goodness. Just moments before you folks started populating the screen, because we had this agreement, to come on at about 10 till if possible. And so I popped in like 20 till, because sometimes I've been the one who's still chewing food and I go, oh my goodness, my guests are here. And there is something that my husband did with me as I was trying to become brave about, speaking boldly into microphones and being seen on camera. And I said, take a video of me and I'm going to cut 3 ribbons, because my 3 colors are gray, red, and magenta. Reasons behind that. I'm going to cut 3 crepe streamers and welcome people to the Aging Better Network. And he found this music where there's this flute that does this trilling, and it sounds like, some cartoon character is skipping by with all these do 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 kind of things, because I'm standing there in my reddest coat possible. Santa Claus would do better to, and a magenta hat that looks like something from the Rat Pack. And I'm holding balloons behind my back, so they're like clunking me in the head. And he plays this little sound. I don't have to see it. And I know how I felt at that moment. I know that I was saying, aging better. And guess what? I could not make the scissors go through crepe paper, probably because I was shaking. And he will do that at odd moments. And I think it's to make sure that, if I just have my resting face on, like liven up. Remember, you've got muscles in here for a reason, And so, yes, I could probably hear that once a week, and that would help me through the 365 days of laughing. I could probably post that thing out and have people go, what is she doing? and have them just laugh and go, I don't know, it's one of her things.
We send it to me. I can put it on one of our days.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Christine, I can't help myself but share that my mother was a comedian by trade. That's what she did for a living. And she finished every show with a statement that laughter is the best medicine for all your ailments. And then she gave out her phone number because she thought it was funny, and nobody ever called. But it was really funny. She was like a test. She would tell a whole showroom full of people, if you're looking for a good time, call. And she would give out our real home phone number, and she just was so disappointed nobody ever called.
Oh.
Maybe the assumption, she can't really be giving out her real phone number. And this is not a metaphor. No. Non-pharma. I have learned what non-pharma is, and prescription. So I've had guests on who've talked about a prescription of music, and that it needs to be precise to that person, how much they need, what kind they need, how often, especially if they're dealing with emotional, mental, cognitive, whatever it is that is taking them down, probably at the very least sad pathways, if not frustrated and confused and I'm all alone in this, whatever is going on, including dementia. And has anyone said that yet, that there should be a prescription that you've heard of? Anyone? A prescription for laughing, or has that come across anybody's view?
Well, I know there are laughter therapists and, one-on-one as well as workshops. We haven't yet had, as far as the social prescribers are concerned, they prescribe to us for befriending calls, but not yet for laughter. But I think that would be great. It would be great.
Goodness.
Hey, if I can jump in really quickly, I heard an amazing discussion the other day from a neuroscience scientist who was a neurosurgeon, and he was talking about how your brain wires pathways for the way that you think, what you're looking for, what you're thinking about. So I'm sure people know way more than this than I do, but what I really loved about that whole thing was through joy and laughter and thinking positively, it wires you to look for those things, to find joy in life, to find all that. So and this is a scientific medical fact, they say, that it does that for your body and your brain. And so it can be nothing but a good thing to laugh and to have joy. And Sarah, I've been blessed. Pete Can, the laughter man, a friend of mine from England, is one that taught me about laughter therapy. And I use it in all of my inspirational speeches right off the bat. And everybody's laughing. Everybody feels great. And it's all uphill from there. Everything is great. From that point on, you're just going, woo, everybody's happy. And no matter what I say. So I tell you, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And when Russ says it's all uphill from there, he doesn't mean he's pushing a boulder up the hill. He just means everybody's climbing higher with him to, what do you call it? Attack the summit.
There you go. Whatever.
Well, and I think we certainly agree with that concept because we bring play to things that don't feel playful, right? It's about playfulness and joy and laughter and finding the joy in your challenge, whether that is cancer or caring for someone, caregiving, aging. But we believe this process can and should be joyful. And our book tries to get people to think about things playfully and to find some of those memories and ideas that they can remember laughingly and fondly and enjoy that time and think about how it can help them in the future.
There is one more co-author, Anne, with you and with Dara, and one more co-author named Dee. And what was her last name?
Dee Childers.
Childers.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the title. It begins, don't look at it. I believe it's winning strategies, right? Those are the first two words.
Yes.
Yes. Brilliantly selected, by the way, because it's like, what is it?
Well, it's winning strategies for family caregiving, lessons from family game night. And we really lean into those family game night memories and lessons and help you think about some of the challenges you may face in new ways that hopefully invoke some of those wonderful, happy memories of childhood.
Oh my goodness. Dara, you've already shared about your mom. And please tell the actual story. It feels like your mom is part of why you went into Data Diaries. Are you nodding yes?
She is. No, she is. So she is actually the initial inspiration for all of my work in the care economy. This book being the latest introduction. I started caring for her. I didn't call myself a caregiver. I called myself a daughter. But she was disabled when I was 10 and had preceding growing challenges and medical conditions. And she passed when I was 24. But she was the first person for whom I was a caregiver. And I learned so many lessons from her, and the importance of joy and laughter and a positive outlook and seeking solutions and looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. And she had these big, giant, come on, 70s, y'all, 70s and 80s, big, giant pink sunglasses And when she didn't care for whatever the doctor had to say or whatever challenge was in her way, she would literally pick up those sunglasses and put them on and tilt her head and say, "Today, I choose to look at the world through my rose-colored glasses." And I have those rose-colored glasses in a shadow box in my office. My brother gives away rose-colored glasses to all of his customers with a story about his mother. It is such an important reminder to view the world through a positive lens and to find the joy and laughter. So absolutely everything I've done, my data diary, this book, everything else, but is very much inspired by my mother.
Oh my goodness. Anne, I am not going to ignore you any longer. I know, look at her smile. It's just growing and growing. So Anne, did we talk about this before we went? I think so. How you two met. I don't think that got onto the recording. So, Anne, there's more to hear from everyone. But if you would let us know maybe a background of you, and then there was this moment that has brought both of you onto my screen for a very good reason, because I got an email newsletter and I went, "Dara, come back. I haven't seen you since 2022. And she goes, "Yep." You got it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here with you all. And I love the topic of laughing through it all. I'm a geriatric and palliative care doctor, and use joy and happiness in I actually do write prescriptions for things like that. They're not valid, I suppose, but I think they are. And when you, like, a lot of families will say to me, but they don't believe it when I tell them. It's only when a doctor tells them. So I will write prescriptions for a joke a day, or to get together with your grandkids to laugh. And I think those things are so incredible. My caregiver journey is that my mom too lived with cognitive changes, with Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia. And I was with her on that journey for several years. And we knew that if she was having a bad day, all we had to do is get her laughing, and her mood would improve, because her mood might be stuck in a sad place and she might not remember why. But if we could just get her laughing, she'd be so much better. My son was great at pratfalls. My daughter knew how to, twirl around her. We used slapstick if we had to. We were fine with that, which is probably why when I went to a care economy conference and met Dara, we seemed to just bond. And we were having dinner one night with several other people, probably 20 other people. Yeah, there were several other people there. And Dara told me about what she and Dee had come up with on winning strategies for family caregiving, lessons from a family game night. They have a game that they play to teach these strategies to people. And Dara said, "I think we could write a book about it." Well, I had written a book about end-of-life care and dementia after my mom died. And I looked for a book to help other family members. I looked for a book to help my siblings, and I couldn't find one. So I wrote that book, and I was like, well, that's not so hard. And so I said that to Dara that night. It's not hard to write a book. You just write it. And she was like, "I don't think we can do it." And I was like, "We'll do it." I said, "I'd be happy to help." And she goes, "I think it would be great to have the medical perspective along with Dee's care manager perspective and Dara's business acumen." And so kind of approaching the book from those three perspectives has given it some unique voices. And again, the metaphor of family game night has been really fun and such a great way to learn and bring up memories. So we talk about playing Twister and Chutes and Ladders, old games and new ones like I Dissent. So, and each story in the book is hooked somehow to those games. And it's just a nice way to take something that maybe isn't as much fun and find that little bit of playfulness in it.
Well, and one of the things that I think has been most gratifying since we launched the book and have started to watch some of the reviews come in on Amazon is to have people say things like fun and funny and joyful about a book on family caregiving, because that was exactly the intent. And each chapter includes stories. Some of them are personal and we identify them when they are, and some of them are anonymous, related to our experiences with clients. But every chapter has a story, every chapter has a game, every chapter has a lesson. And the most gratifying for me is the comments that say, this made me laugh and I found joy, and it's happy and helpful. And those two things don't usually come together when people are looking for a book on caregiving. So
True.
Wow. Next week is December 2nd. And it was the brainchild of a person who's been on Aspects of Aging for Aging Better Network, who said, wouldn't it be great if you could get together a bunch of people who have taken something about aging and put it into something that's entertaining or artistic. And so I said, so creatives. And we have coming a gentleman who's been a playwright for years, received his dementia diagnosis and wrote a play about it. And he uses his script and goes through the play on stage, all very intentionally. And then people who have either done not a TEDx, but a TED Talk. In fact, he's done 2 on aging. A person who, I never say the title right, it's just going to blurt out, but she does Granny's Got a Podcast. And then other people who have brought, they call it art against ageism. So seeing the beauty in what some people go, oh, I need to make sure people can't tell how old I am, and just seeing the beauty and bringing that out. And then, just several others have all come just because the one gal goes, could you get this person, try that one, see if that person will come in. And I'm just going, and they've won awards, or they've been, you've been nominated. They've been nominated for awards, or they've won awards. And I'm like, so a subject that was usually like how to avoid talking about aging, or how to, not think about it until I'm old, then I'll think about it, or whatever it is, or dementia itself, this movies about it. I'm just going, I think I'm going to sit here and eat popcorn while you all just go at it. So
Right.
Another positive upswing. Russ, you've said it. All of you have talked about prescriptions for laughing, whether valid or not, who knows? Maybe someone's going to keep one of those written prescriptions and end up putting that in a shadow box, just like those pink glasses, and go, see, we knew this person who was groundbreaking in, saying there really is an amount of laughing, or a kind of laughing. And I couldn't help it, Russ, when you put into the comments, I love to laugh, I hear the Mary Poppins song. Does anyone know the name of that actor who?
I mean, with Dick Van Dyke?
And yeah.
But
It was
he
her and
didn't-
Dick Van Dyke.
And then there was the older gentleman who had
They
that
floated.
contagious laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, in the bank.
Was his name Win
Ed
something?
Wynn.
Thank you. You know who that is. It says Aging Better Network, and that's where you can find replays of exactly what's going on here. You can also see my books. I have 2 of them. This is about the amount of time I'm going to say. Just go to Aging Better Network, and you're going to find the books that I wrote. And I have no trouble writing, but the idea of publishing was pretty horrifying. So got to get over that. Anyway, that makes me, in fact, I think I know I have a link to my YouTube channel, and I bet you the one that makes me laugh is there as well. But the whole idea was that they were floating up. And when he thought sad thoughts, they were coming down and their faces came down and the sound of their voices came down. And you're absolutely right, all of you, because I went to a quick little seminar. I don't know what to call it. I Zoomed with a person who leads you through thinking differently and said, I'm going to give you a few seconds to look at a picture, find everything that's yellow, and then remember it for afterwards. The picture comes, the picture goes, and the person never mentions yellow again and says, can you name anything there that was red? And I was like, nothing. I don't even remember yellow apples in a bowl of red apples or anything, because I concentrated so hard on what I thought I was supposed to focus on. And I'm just like, nothing. And it was like, that relates to when you are going into a situation, assuming this is going to be bad, then that is what you're going to see. And people used to laugh and say, why do you like to go to the Oregon coast? It's always windy and rainy and the weather changes. We always came back, Russ, we always came back going, it was amazing. The waves were huge. The kites were beautiful. We found this restaurant with windows so we could look out over the Oregon coast. People are like, does it always sunshine and be perfect when you're there? And it's like, no, we don't go looking for perfect weather. We go to see something else, see something new, find a new spot or experience the spray in our face or whatever, and if it happens to be beautiful weather, then maybe we meet a few people or see some cute dogs,
I
so
love the
yes.
Oregon coast. It's the perfect beach for me. I can wear my jeans, my sweatshirt, and my tennis shoes year round on the beach. I'm like, I'm not a bikini girl, so I want to go to a beach where I can wear my jeans and my sweatshirt.
It's gorgeous there. I mean, there's science for why we look for the negative as mammals, because that's a survival technique. But we can prime ourselves to look for the positive. And when we do, so when you can, and that's the beauty of being human, we don't have to only look for the negative, because most of us are doing pretty well, and survival is not that big a deal anymore for most of us. And, I know that that's not true for everyone, but those of people watching this most likely are doing okay. And so we can prime ourselves to look for the positive. And when we do, the rest of our lives will go much more easily. And that has been shown scientifically, that if you're looking for the positive, tasks happen with more ease. And so, but you have to prime yourself. You have to look for it a little bit. I mean, that's why we're all here, to remind everybody else. If you look for that positive, life will go more smoothly after that.
It will. And you know what?
Yeah,
my doctor said the number one thing going for me, positive attitude. I mean, people, when they walk into the room and they say, I'm sorry, you have stage 4 cancer, and it's from your foot to your brain, people, that's quite a shock. So then you have to make a choice. Where are you going from there? I've always been ready through this whole journey. My personality, but I've been ready for anything, and I've pre-decided that I'm going to be looking for the positive things, and I'm going to be moving in a positive direction despite that. And so, I mean, I agree with you 100%. That is so true. And we just get into these ruts. A lot of people get into ruts, and they're expecting the other shoe to drop. They're expecting something negative to come. I'm always going into the appointment thinking something's great's going to happen. They're going to say, praise God, you're completely healed. Go home. You're all good. I mean, that's what I'm expecting. But if they don't, I can live with that. I just learned and I adjust my thinking. And I think the laughter thing, I want to get back to that really quickly, because when Mama had Alzheimer's and we would walk around her hallway, it was a big circle. She called it Lappin' and Laughin'. So I had a hashtag Lappin' and Laughin', and then a hashtag Happy Moments with Mama. And we would just laugh and sing. And she was so happy, happiest person alive pretty much to the day she died. And she infused so much joy in me. Those were so great for me, but I found it went beyond that to thousands of other people, and people going through this journey of caregiving or taking care of things or having parents that are just it's horrible for some people. That moment that they can laugh just a little makes an extreme positive difference in their life.
And I think
Wow.
I would say, Russ, you're probably such an inspiration for your caregivers and care providers. And the fact that you as the patient have that positive attitude and inspire that positivity with the other patients, the other families, and the doctors. My mother, with her positive attitude, she was, hospitalized for one of her journeys in the hospital. And she was so frustrated with the negativity because her situation was not good and she knew it. But she was so frustrated with the negativity. She said, "Daughter, you need to go get a big piece of paper and a marker." And I was like, "Okay," off I go to the nurse's station, and I come back. And I said, "What do you want, Mom?" She goes, "I want a big sign on my door that says only positive attitudes welcome here." So I dutifully wrote, "Only positive attitudes welcome here." And I taped it to her door. And then I watched and witnessed as she was in a research hospital, teaching hospital, some younger doctors who were learning about the art of medicine came in and started reading her results and telling her everything that was wrong. And she said, "Did you see the sign?" And they looked at her and like, "What sign?" And they went back and they looked at the door and they're like, "Okay." And then they went back to their list and she goes, "Did you read the sign?" And when they couldn't get off of where she needed to hear it, she said, "Get out. Don't come back until you can deliver that information with thoughts on solutioning and a positive way to look at this." It's not that she didn't need to know it. It was all about how she needed them to help her process it. And it was fascinating to watch that transition in the medical environment. And it changed how they talked to her. And it was important for her, and her doctor candidly wrote a prescription, only positive attitudes in the room. And it was very important. And it was in her medical notes because he realized how critical it was to her recovery. She needed the positivity.
Oh my goodness. I want to thank Echo Box Memory Vault. I know I have reached out to Echo Box Memory Vault. I have to go back and look through what brought these people here today. Are any of you aware of this group?
No.
Okay, well, after the show, I'm going to do some sleuth work and go, why did I reach out to them? It must have been part of, I'm just going to guess that it was comments in something else, but I definitely have invited people where I go, Russ knows Mike Ashebrainer, and he, I attended one of his, free talks. Boy, I love free. And so he was saying, make a kind of a date with yourself to make a meaningful comment on someone's post daily. You can have a cutoff point or say, "Oh, I made it 5 out of 6, 6 out of 7. Echo Box is saying, "Hello guys, keep up the great work. Would love to know what you thought of our family project. Echobox.ca." Okay. Oh, wow. I didn't mean to interrupt. This is Tim. We're in Calgary, Canada. Interrupt? No. Okay, you guys, we've got what we're going to do here. Echobox.ca. And yay, I think you are probably another prescription writer for positive and
Joyful
what did you
living.
say, Dara? Come in with a solution, something.
Solution
Come in.
mindset.
Yes, yeah, you
You know-
know, come in from the thing of we have solutions for what we're about to tell you. Now, the solutions, you've got several to choose from, you know, like come at me with this commercial that makes me go, "Yes, I want to buy this product," rather than it's bad news, folks. Your dishes are still greasy.
Hey, Christine, if I could comment on Dara's thing, because I have to jump here in just about a
Yes,
minute.
you do.
But I wanted to say, Dara, I love what you said. And I'll tell you an example of going to OHSU, which is also a teaching hospital. My main treatment oncologist came in to me to tell me that I had diabetes because of the treatment that they had given me. And
It's crazy.
I right off the bat thought, well, I mean, I knew a bunch of things could happen. I mean, you sign off for pretty much everything up to death when you go in for those things. And so I'm like, okay, so how we're going to deal with this? And I said to her, I said, well, how many people going through my treatment contract type 1 diabetes from this? And she goes, you are the less than 1% that gets diabetes. And I said to her, you know, I said, I've always wanted to be part of the 1%. But that was not the 1% I was going for. And she just burst out laughing. And you know what? I told her, listen, it's not your fault. My body just didn't react well to this. That's the way it goes. We're going to move on and do something else. Right.
And
so
my
it's all
mother
good.
would have said, I just defied the odds. I intend to do it again. Right.
There you
And
go.
so I think it's that same, where is the rose colored glasses, glass half full in that?
I love that. I love that. Yep. And I think I would classify, and your mother, as I would classify myself and my mother as the glass overflowing. We are the glass overflowing, right? Everything's good. My beautiful wife calls me Pollyanna. And so, you know, it's just all how you look at stuff. So
I bet every one of us has been called Pollyanna on this podcast.
although I'm probably the only guy that's been called Pollyanna, but that's all right. But, anyway,
Polly works on the East Coast. Hey, Polly.
There you go.
Hey,
I just wanna
blessings
say what
to
a
you.
blessing you guys are.
Striving, clear-headedness. I'm so glad you got us all laughing. I'm glad we got to get you laughing. Thank you, Russ. Thank you for saying that you would come in. I'm blessed.
You're all a blessing. Thank you. Please connect with me. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Okay.
Yay.
Wonderful.
A person said, I don't want to say that I'm an expert in what it was. It was in my realm, you know, somewhere in the aging, longevity, caregiving area. I don't want to say that I'm an expert because I want to keep learning. So I only say that I specialize in, and that's part of Russ's thing, is that he's an inspiration specialist. And I don't know if that holds true with the dictionary or whatever, but boy, I'm glad that he popped in and that he could meet all three of you, and that all three of you could meet him. And this is part of life. There was a gal who runs it was in the UK, and she was in her car. It was dark, you know, I mean, it was this time of the evening, and she was fighting her way through traffic in whatever busy burg that she is in. And she says, I'm just having to deal with traffic, but I'll be on soon. And then we saw her phone moving around a number of minutes later. And then I don't know if she switched over to her computer or what, but she got all set up, got herself a little bit to eat because it just had been a day. And it was a community where they care for people, you know, what I call hallways. There's hallways and there's homes. And then she came in, and I was so glad she had a little something to eat, because then she just went right into, this is what we did today to bring, you know, joy to our residents and to help families to know it's okay. You can come to this memory care. You can come to this place that you might feel like, oh boy, I just don't know what to say anymore. They're either upset at me or they don't remember me or what? And it's like, nope, just come in and party with us. And, and she was just went on to tell all these things they had done. And I was so glad that it was live. It was like, this is real life. This is a person managing a situation that is home for a lot of people and home away from home for loved ones who visit often. And she's like, I'm making it a happy place. Yay. Oh my goodness. We've got just enough time for each of you to just really have a chance to, in case someone is only listening, would love for you to say the names of your websites, the titles of your books, the product that the only person I had met of the three of you, the person I had met before was Dara. And wow, it was late in 20, so that it's been 2 years. And boy, you did not hesitate. Yep, we're coming. I'm going to see if Ann and Dee can come. Hey, Ann can come, and I'm just like, oh, yay. So,
All
and
about the yes.
this will
Say yes.
always be available. This whole thing will be available and you can stick it out and take pieces of it, promote. Who was talking? Go ahead.
No, exactly. Always say yes. I'm always looking for the yes,
Yay. Dara, why don't you start and just, go ahead and spell things out if they're spelled differently or whatever, so people can find you, find what it is that you are offering. And, if they're just listening and it's like, oh, that's how she spells Dara, things like that.
Okay, got it. Well, first of all, you can reach me for any of my endeavors at my email address. It is spelled DARRA at mycarecompanions with an S.com. So mycarecompanions.com. And what I am here today really to talk about is our Winning Strategies for Family Caregiving Lessons from Family Game Night book. We also have a deck of game cards. The book is available on Amazon and definitely the easiest way for you to find it. And we encourage you to go there. It'll get you there faster. But if you're interested in the game cards, you can come to our website, mydatadiary.com/winning-strategies. And which leads me to my other endeavor. I have a family information management software product called My Data Diary. But today, it's all about winning strategies for family caregiving and finding the joy in navigating that caregiving journey with your family.
Your data diary became a plus over the last 2 years. So yes, that's part of it too. And what a winning team. Ann talked about your business mind, your ability to navigate we've got this really cool thing, crickets. You understand that part. She brings in the expertise and also the compassion of a palliative geriatric certified medical doctor. And then I think the cards were a development by Dee Childers. Is that right?
No, all of it is by the three of us, but the three voices we bring to the table, winning strategies from the point of view of the physician. So that's Ann, the care manager, which is Dee, and the family manager. Like I bring the business side of personal management, right? How do you take care of somebody's household, their information, their documents? So we have the business side of care, the care management, the actual health care management, and the physician point of view in one book, in one game.
Oh my goodness. And every chapter is like, do you remember Chutes and Ladders? And it's like, oh yes, these were played, I played with it. My kids played with it, that is wonderful. And I'm so glad that you have received messages like, that was so much fun to learn how to become someone that I have never become before. And Anne, was there anything that you wanted to add to this? The description?
No, I think today is all about winning strategies for family caregiving, lessons from family game night. And I am curious to find out if Sarah had played any of the games I mentioned, which are kind of the older ones. But some of them are like forever. Everyone has played Tug of War. But I am excited to be a co-author with Dara and Dee on this book, and too have been just so excited to see the positive response on Amazon. And I think for people who are in the training business, the game might be a nice addition. And again, it can be found at Dara's website, because it might help facilitate conversations around some of these caregiving needs, or training someone you're trying to make breakthroughs with. So I think that would be my addition. It's a game is a playful way to facilitate conversations, whether it's or the game.
Yeah, we actually have one area agency on aging who has purchased the book and the game cards for all of their in-field social workers, because it gives them a very approachable and engaging way to start conversations with families. They get to play a game.
Right.
I love it. Yeah. Sarah, Chinese checkers, mousetrap, Stratego, Battleship. It just went on and on. I had cousins. We played and played. And then as parents playing with our kids, my husband made up a game called Smiths in Space.
That did not make the book. Sorry.
Sarah, you get to close us out today. Tell us and spell it out. Ways that people can contact you with MDT. Did I spell that part right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Yeah. MDT online. Good. Well, you continue. Oh, and tell us games that you have played.
Yeah. Oh, games I've played. Definitely Twister, Monopoly, pretty much all of those. I mean, Snakes and Ladders for sure. Yeah, I've played all those games, Snap, Uno, all those things. I love the idea of bringing we will bring that into our charity as well for our meeting places, because we probably we do have caregivers who volunteer with us, so their loved one will come to socialize, and then they will actually stay. Some will stay and help, but they have made friends in the volunteering, and it's become like an extended family, really. In fact, I popped to see one of them today, our longest flagship, and wow. They were just leaving, and one of the chaps, Steve, said, it is my family coming here. And so I think that actually and we do games are a big part of it. Games, singing, laughter, so eating. So
the
stuff that you love. Yeah. So yes, I think I will definitely. I'd looked at it before this, and certainly we will bring that. And it's been really inspirational talking with you guys and listening to what you've done. Brilliant. Well, so MDT is sort of our healthcare side of it, which is providing outsourced supervision. So it's a virtual platform providing support for healthcare workers. But the charity where we do all the laughing is the Healing Hubs, and our big campaign at the moment is about raising awareness of laughter. And as I say, there are, and we just want to link with all the people who are providing laughter around the world, at which there are like loads and loads of people. And so it would just be great to really get a platform and, you know, to be able to provide that prescription of laughter really seriously within healthcare, I think would be amazing. Yeah. And I mean, there's been lots of, you know, this has been going on for a while. I don't know if you ever saw the film Patch Adams, you know, that, yeah, a real famous film and fabulous based on a doctor played by Robin Williams. And there's laughter is everywhere. And it would just be great to, you know, I just talking about it to try and raise more awareness, really. And we're doing a little bit of fundraising to try and train more laughter leaders and teachers and therapists. So that's kind of our thing. But yeah, I mean, it's just great to hear what everyone's doing and connecting with you guys in the States. It's amazing. So that's us.
So
Really.
nice.
Laughter is universal.
It is a universal language for sure. You don't have to speak English. You can everybody will laugh, and I've had lots of people connect with me now from all over the world. So it's just like it's a real pleasure. Yeah, a treasure.
Laughter, I'm sure, must be some sort of visceral reaction, because you don't teach a baby to laugh, but you do write down the first time, oh, they giggled. That was a laugh. Was that a laugh? You know, so.
Well, that's so true. It's innate. No one told them a joke.
No.
It just
And
happened.
I have a 3-month-old grandchild, and she was laughing by pretty early, and it has us all smiling from ear to ear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wonderful. This is, I don't know, I definitely have more helium in my balloon because you all came today, and Russ definitely left for his next appointment with, whew, you know, wind beneath his wings, because he's always positive. But I know perfectly well that everyone who's a human being has those moments where they're just like, I cannot fight my way out of a wet paper bag today. I don't have it in me. And one day his wife said to him, honey, you're just befuddled. And I believe that was his first book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. And just writing it made a difference. And just knowing that she had kind of this isn't an end. This was, I don't know how many years ago. But you said it, Anne, that writing a book is easy. So you can do it. Everyone's got a story. Oh, good job, honey. We are done. We are